The Champions League is finally back with us. And as usual, I'm going to be here predicting who are going to be the two teams making it to the round of 16, who's going to finish third and making it to Europa League, and who's going to get knocked out of Europe completely. Keep in mind, these are my own personal opinions, and if you disagree or agree with any of my picks, you can head down to the comments and tell me who you think is going to make it through. And while you're down there, make sure to subscribe to the channel as we're racing to 7,000 in this DFO YouTube channel. But before we start, I got a little sponsor for you guys. Now, most of you guys know that I collect football jerseys, and I'm not entirely happy with paying $100 every time that I buy a jersey. We can all agree that it's way too much. So I'm always looking for different options, different websites, different places where I can get said jerseys for basically half the price. And I want to introduce you guys to LU Soccer. They send me a couple jerseys, like for example, this Roma jersey right here. They came up with this one this season, and it's a beauty. Or this Training Argentina jersey. Again, I got it from LU Soccer. They were kind enough to send a couple jerseys for me to review, and I think they passed the DFO check of approval. If you want to check them out, their link will be in the bio. But without further ado, let's get into some predictions. I'm going to start up with Group A, of course. We've got Ajax, Liverpool, Rangers, and Napoli. Starting up with Liverpool, they are one of the big teams in the PL that have started the season very underwhelming. In the summer, they lost Mane, and now that the season started, they've had some injuries, and Nunez hasn't been able to play much because of red card. So they started the season with 2 wins out of 6 games so far. I don't remember exactly where they're sitting on the table, but they're like 11th, 12th, something like that. They definitely didn't want to start the season like this. Now let's look at a similar case. Napoli, they lost a lot of great players, a lot of crucial players, Insigne, Mertens, Koulibaly, but somehow they've actually been shouting the haters down, and they started the season very, very good. They're still unbeaten after 5 games, and they're also displaying great football. Some of the veteran players like Zielinski have been doing really well, but also some of their signings have been really, really good. Like for example, the center back Kim, and also this guy basically. The problem with Napoli, and this is a problem that happens with a lot of Serie A teams, I don't believe they have a great squad depth to compete in Serie A, Coppa Italia, and also the Champions League or Europa League. I'll get more on that later, but Ajax on the other side, they have started the season brilliantly with 5 wins out of 5, despite losing a lot of players. They lost players like Lisandro Martinez and Anthony, and they've brought players like Bergwijn and Ocampos. I think they have a great attacking trio that could do well in the Champions League. All in all, I think Liverpool will eventually bounce back from this horrible beginning to the season, and they will have what it takes to finish first place and top the group. Secondly, I think Ajax have started the season really well, and I think they also have what it takes to finish second, but it's mostly because Napoli, like I mentioned before, I don't think they have a great squad depth. I think this Napoli side will fall eventually despite their great beginning. So we shall see what happens, but I think Napoli will finish third, and unfortunately for Rangers, they'll go down as 4th place. Moving on to Group B, we have Porto, Atletico Madrid, Club Brugge, and Leverkusen. This is the group that I'm not going to spend too much time in. I think Simeone will take Atletico Madrid to first place despite of all the criticism that they usually receive because of their play style. Secondly, I think Porto will advance. They are the Portuguese champions. They deserve some respect. I got them coming in 2nd place. And Leverkusen, you would expect me to either finish 2nd place or go 3rd place going to Europa League, but they started the season super bad. Leverkusen have 1 win out of 6 games. One of them was in the DFB Pokal, the German Cup. They lost to 3rd division team Elversberg. Not great, not a great look for Leverkusen. They haven't started brilliantly. I think Club Brugge will do enough to finish 3rd place and go to Europa League, while Leverkusen finish 4th. So again, Atletico Madrid 1st, Porto 2nd, Club Brugge 3rd, Leverkusen 4th. Next up is what might just be the group of death. We got Group C, Bayern, Inter, Barcelona, and the mighty Victoria. Now, I'm not going to waste a lot of time with Bayern. We all know they have a great team. They've made great acquisitions in the summer, specifically Mane, and they're still unbeaten in the Bundesliga, despite having a little bit of a rocky start. Without wasting any more time, I got Bayern coming in 1st, so it's really a toss in the park between Inter and Barcelona. Looking at Barcelona, they started the season pretty well. A 0-0 draw against Rayo Vallecano kind of woke them up and made them play at their best, and they have been doing really well. They still haven't lost in the league so far, and they have a really good team from the attack to the defense. We all know the amazing summer window that Barcelona have had, and it's really paying off. On the other side, you have Inter, who didn't start the Serie A season so well. They've managed to beat the smaller Serie A sides, but then when it came down to their big test, they faced Lazio and they faced Milan, and they lost both games, 3-1 and 3-2. This might make you think that Inter are not ready for the big stage. Yes, they got a great team on paper. Yes, they also play pretty good football whenever they're on form. But when it comes to the Champions League, they are a completely different team. The criticism that I give this Inter side is that they can't replicate how well they play in Serie A and then do it in Europe. They've been probably the best team in Serie A for the last few years, and they can't take that and perform in Europe for some reason. Maybe it's the mentality. Maybe they crumble under pressure. I don't know. They couldn't do it against Conte, who has a really bad record in Europe. Can they do it with Inzaghi now? We shall see. If you make me guess, I think that they cannot, and Inter will finish third. Barcelona will finish second, despite us loving the Barca Europa League banter. It's not going to happen again. I think Barcelona will finish second, Inter third, and then Victoria. I'm sorry. Thanks for coming, but you're fourth place. Next up is Group D, a really well-balanced group that is going to have a lot of people watching. We got Spurs, we got Marsella, we got Sporting, and then we got Frankfurt. Marsella started the season pretty good with the acquisition of Alexis Sanchez, who has 3 goals. They've managed to get 5 wins and get 1 draw, so they're still unbeaten. Another team that has started really good in this group is Spurs. They're only 2 points away from leaders Arsenal, but the bad thing about them is that, like I mentioned before, Conte doesn't exactly do well in Europe. Son is another problem. He hasn't been scoring at all this season. He just won the Golden Boot, but he's been doing horrible in terms of expected goals. I think he should be having up to 3 now. Still doesn't see the back of the net, but they got great players that can still perform, even if Son doesn't exactly get into the score sheet. Players like Kane, and at the back you got players like Christian Romero, who have had a tremendously good season so far. I think things will be very tight in Group D though, but Spurs will top it. Marseille will come in second. Frankfurt, I know you guys are expecting me to put them going into the round of 16, but I don't think. Something just tells me that they're going to fall short, and they're going to go down third place, go into Europa League, and having a good run in Europa League once again. And then Sporting just last because they've had a pretty bad start of the season with just 2 wins out of 5 and losing 3-0 to title contenders Porto. The reason I'm judging early results in the season so much is because this season is going to be pretty crowded because of the World Cup coming up in November. So if you have a pretty bad start, you don't have time to recover. You don't have time to kind of get some form going on because the Champions League is now. We've never had a Champions League starting so early, and now we got weekend games and then Champions League again and then midweek games, and it's all pretty crowded. So if you started up pretty badly, it's harder to kind of come back from that. So we shall see what happens. Maybe they'll shut me off, but I got Sporting coming in 4th. Moving on to Group E. The next groups that we got is Salzburg, Dinamo Zagreb, Milan, and Chelsea. I think you guys know the 2 teams that will advance in round of 16. We got Chelsea and we got Milan. We got Chelsea and we got Milan. But who do I got coming in first and who do I got coming in second? Let's start from the bottom. At 4th place, I got Dinamo Zagreb, and I think Salzburg will have enough to finish 3rd place. Salzburg would be the team to kind of try and go into 2nd place or even 1st place, basically trying to give a fight against Milan or Chelsea because they have 6 wins so far and just 1 loss so far in the season. But I still got these 2 teams going into 1st and 2nd place. There's a lot of things and signs that show me that Chelsea are not ready for the season so far. They're yet to have a convincing win. They lost 3-0 to Leeds, and Tuchel has been giving a lot of odd statements that don't convince me that things are going to get better at Chelsea anytime soon. On the other side, you got Milan, which, like I mentioned earlier for Napoli, a lot of these top Serie A teams, they don't have a lot of great squad depth. Milan are one of the few sides that have started the Serie A season pretty well. They're 3rd right now, only 2 points away from leaders Atalanta. So really, like I mentioned, these 2 sides are going to be their 1st or 2nd place. Despite the signs, I'm still going to put Chelsea first because they usually shut me off. Like, I've done prediction videos before where I have Chelsea getting knocked out, and they always come through eventually in the Champions League. They won just a few seasons ago. I gotta give them some respect. I don't think Milan have that great squad depth. They have been doing good. I gotta give them that, but I got them coming in 2nd place. Next up is Group F, the group that I'm probably gonna spend the least of time in. We got Real Madrid, we got Celtic, we got Shakhtar, and we got Leipzig. Real Madrid topping this group. I don't need to waste any more time. They're the champions of Europe. They got a great team from bottom to the top. I don't know if Benzema will repeat the success that he had last season, but this is hardly a test for them. This is the Champions League group stage. They're going to finish 1st place, believe me. I don't have a lot to say about the other sides, but I think Leipzig will finish 2nd place. They haven't started the season great with only 5 points in 5 games. They're sitting at 11th place. Yes, they have players that are still performing like Dani Olmo and Nkunku. Maybe it's just me looking at their competition, Shakhtar and Celtic, that just tells me that despite them having a bad start of the season, they're going to have what it takes to finish 2nd. So again, Real Madrid will finish 1st, Leipzig will finish 2nd, and then really it's a toss of the park. I think I got Shakhtar coming in 3rd and Celtic 4th. Next up is a pretty exciting group. If it was last year, but it's not. We got Man City, we got Dortmund, we got Sevilla, and Copenhagen. The thing that I'm referencing with the whole last year thing is that Sevilla are a completely different team. Let's talk about them first. I think this is their worst start in La Liga since 19 70 something. I don't know. I lost this stat completely and I couldn't find it. But they have 3 losses and 1 draw so far. Their last loss came against Barcelona, where they got completely dominated against them. But the point is, Sevilla are a completely different team. And the funny thing about Sevilla, if we can move a little bit aside, is that they had this horrible beginning to the season, and their first few games were supposed to be the easy parts, because guess who they have after this? They have City in the Champions League, then Espanyol, Villarreal, Atletico Madrid, Dortmund, Atletico Bilbao, and then Dortmund again. So things are not going to get easier anytime soon. Anyways, let's move over to the other side. So we got Man City. They're expected to top the group. I don't know if they're favorites to win this whole thing, but they definitely acquired something that they needed. Someone who will finish those chances. If you see Man City against Real Madrid last season, for example, I don't remember if it was in the first or second leg, but they created so many chances. They just needed the number 9 to just put those away. And they got exactly that with Haaland. He already has 10 goals in the season. We just started. It's unbelievable. Back-to-back hat tricks. This guy's on fire. And it doesn't hurt that the ones behind him are great players like Gundogan and De Bruyne, who are having a great season. Dortmund has started the season pretty well, also with 4 out of 5 wins so far. And they're second place with the same points. The thing about Dortmund is that they're over-exceeding their expected goals. So they're bound to come down eventually and disappoint a large group of people. But so far, I think I got Man City coming in first, Copenhagen coming in fourth. Second place, I gotta go for Dortmund. I don't think Sevilla are gonna bounce back anytime soon. I got them coming in third, going to Europa League. And I don't think it's the usual story where they finish third and then they win the Europa League. I don't think they're gonna do great this season unless something crazy happens and things change. But yeah, that is my final ranking. City, Dortmund, Sevilla, Copenhagen. Moving on. Alright guys, we made it to Group H, the last group. We have PSG, we have Benfica, we have Maccabi Haifa, and we have Juventus. Let's just talk about PSG first. PSG, despite having a lot of the players that they did last season, this is basically a whole new side. Pochettino was not capable of bringing the best out of so many superstars. They got Galtier, who seems to be doing so far. Eminem, Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe have 17 goals in 5 games so far. Completely insane. They're all in form. They're all sharp and ready to go. They're by far the team that has created the most chances in Ligue 1 with 26. I mean, second place has 15 to put it into perspective. And they actually just got Fabian and Soler to strengthen their midfield as the last minute deals. So, safe to say they're gonna top the group. You were probably expecting that. The team that I got coming in fourth is another team that you were probably expecting to be there, Maccabi Haifa. I've never heard of them. I'm not going to give you a rundown of how good they are. I've never heard of them. I'm sorry. Fourth place they go. And then it's Benfica and Juventus. I gotta tell you something, guys. Because I do predictions very often, I'm always put up against the wall when it comes to predicting about my own team. If you weren't aware, I'm a Juventus fan. And I've predicted a lot of results in this YouTube channel that have to do with Juventus. I think I had us beating Villarreal last season. The one before that, maybe it was Lyon. I had us going through. I had us winning Serie A like last season or the season before. I don't remember. The point is that I always put Juventus ahead, even when I shouldn't. I'm aware that we're ass. I'm aware that we play really bad. But I always put Juventus going through because I just can't avoid that biasness in me. At the end of the day, I'm a fan, and if you give me a platform and I gotta predict something, I'm gonna put my team ahead. But today, that changes. Today, I got off the bias ship, and I'm here to tell you that Juventus are going to finish third place. I think how horrible we play is finally going to catch up to us. Not in the round of 16, not in the quarterfinals like it has been usually in the last few years. I think we're just not going to qualify to the knockout stages. We've had some horrendous games. I'm not even talking about the results because somehow we're still unbeaten. It's just about how we aim to control these games. We park the bus, we don't have a midfield, we don't create chances, we play very boring football. I wouldn't wish my worst enemy to sit down and watch 90 minutes of Allegri playing. I know you've seen the memes of how we play and how it's terrorism and all that. The memes are true, they're accurate. It's not just memes at this point, it's the true reality. It's a complete pain watching Juventus. I'm still going to watch them week in and week out, but I think we're finishing third. And it doesn't help that Benfica are first place in the Portuguese league so far. They've won 5 games so far out of 5. They have 15 points. They have great players like Joe Mario. And they just signed Draxler from PSG and Enzo Fernandez from River. They're going to be a sight to watch. They might, I don't know if they're going to be dark horses of the Champions League, because that's presuming that they're going to make it far. But they are a side that you should not underestimate at all, especially with the signings that they made. So I hate to say it, but I finally got realistic, and I got Juventus coming in third. Obviously, I hope that I'm wrong, but PSG will top the group, Benfica will come in second, Juventus third, and Maccabi, whatever the fuck that is, fourth place. And there you guys have it. That is my prediction. It ends very bittersweet because I had to predict my team going to Europa League as the last thing to do. But there you guys have it, my prediction. If you disagree or agree with any of my topics, go ahead and tell me down in the comment section below, and make sure to subscribe because, again, we are racing to 7,000 subscribers. And for those of you who are not aware, I'm still doing a giveaway in this video right here. It's the World Cup prediction where I predicted the group stage in the World Cup. If someone can tell me the 16 teams that are going to make it to the round of 16 in the World Cup coming up, I'm going to give you a jersey of your choice. I know it's very hard because it's 16 teams, but if nobody gets it correctly, whoever gets the closest gets a jersey of their choice. And if I'm feeling nice, I might even do 2 or 3 winners. We shall see, depending on how the support works. But yeah, go down to that video if you want. As always, thank you all for watching. I will see you guys next time. Let's see how this Champions League predictions age, and I will see you in the next video, whatever that might be. Take care, and cheers.